Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Rob, back from vacation.
So today we are going to be talking about Joker, the spoiler version. So Rob, everybody got my opinion on this film, but you were not there, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. What did you think about the Joker?
You know what? I'm going to take a quote I heard from a friend of mine and say this movie was a masterpiece. There was not a whole lot I did not like about this movie. I'm going to just kind of get through it really quick so we can get to the good stuff. There was not a lot I didn't like about this movie, except for the... I understand why they did it, but like the whole reveal that that was her name Zazie.
Yeah, Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, the guy Zazie Beetz. That it was kind of like their relationship was like a delusion in his mind. I didn't really need that to be like fully like this didn't happen. This didn't happen. Kind of when he walked into her apartment, you knew that by her reaction that they didn't have any kind of like relationship.
Any real relationship.
So that was the only thing really that was like, oh, I understand why they did it, because sometimes people need to be kind of walked through stuff like that. But
they had to be reminded that he was a little bit off.
I didn't need that. But other than that, I mean, this movie was an epic journey through I guess not a madman at the beginning, but just someone who has some issues.
Yeah.
And at the end, you're walking along with this madman this person who becomes a madman, and that's the Joker. And I was off the fence about it. I will, if you're on the fence, I will knock down the fence so you cannot be on the fence. That's how much I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. So. That's that. Let's jump into the spoilers and all the good stuff.
Well, yeah, no. So I agree with what you're saying, and thank you for giving your verdict on.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome
on the film. But yeah, I think let's kind of peel it back. I think one of the things for me that worked so well was the fact that it starts somewhere where, as I thought back on it, it was like seeing where he was from the beginning to where it ends, where he is at the ending, like from that first maybe 2/3 of the film, maybe even a little bit more, it was like, this isn't Joker at all, really, right?
Right.
But once he gets to that point, right, the part where after, it's like almost immediately after he kills his mother and leaves the apartment from I forget the character's name, but Zazie Beetz' character leaves her apartment, and she's like, you need to leave. My daughter's in the other room.
Right.
And when he makes that turn, he becomes the Joker. And from the rest of the film, that point on, the things that he does and some of the things that he says and the way it looks, that's the Joker.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, this is the Joker. Like, and then it became a Joker movie, and I think that was the brilliance of that film, is how it slowly builds up to him becoming that character.
Right. You know what? I agree with you. I don't want to say slow burn with this movie, but it is. People, I can see people saying it's a slow burn, but you're kind of sucked in, like you empathize with him. Like I can see like. And I'm not saying like, it's hard to say because you don't want to empathize with the Joker.
Yeah, and then that's one of the things I wanted to ask you, because that's like been the big controversy with this film is how your feelings about it, the way it ended. Like, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so how it ended is like, I'm gonna say right now, I don't know. So like, I mean that's all I can say is because. So I didn't know, and it doesn't matter to me because it's still, regardless, I still think it's an epic movie.
Yeah.
But how it ended, I don't know if we were going along this journey with him, or if he was, at the end when he's laughing and the psychologist is like, oh, what's so funny? And he's like, oh, a joke. You won't get it. But I don't know if we were going along this journey with him, or if he was just remembering all this stuff in his mind and kind of, it's because there's so much like Like, did he make all this stuff up? Like in the beginning of the movie when he's
Yeah.
watching like the Late Show that Robert De Niro's
with,
on, like how
Murray.
he puts himself in the show, but then then you
Yeah.
see that he's not in
And that
the
was
show.
and I think that was a bit of the callback to King of Comedy
Right,
with De Niro, which there were plenty of callbacks, but we could talk about those later. But yeah, no, to your point, I think, the way he kind of
Yeah.
just
I don't. So I
the
honestly don't
unreliable
know.
narrator is the interesting thing, and I think. Kind of seeing online a lot of people kind of coming up with their own theories about it.
Right.
For me personally, and having heard some interviews from Todd Phillips, I think he took more of just an honest approach of like,
Okay.
this is what it was, and that's it. There's
Right.
no need to dig deeper. So for me,
Right.
I sleep a little bit easier at
Okay.
night than just saying this is what happened, and at the end he's just kind of maybe telling it back to
Okay.
or thinking back of
Okay.
what actually happened.
Well, I mean, the way I take it, and again, I'll say, like, if someone comes to me and says, "Oh no, it's this way," I'll be like, "You're probably right. I'm probably wrong."
Yeah.
But the way I put it, like when I have to be like, "Oh, this is what I think," I think maybe we were going along with him live in his journey. And when he gets pulled out of the cop, at the cop, was he? Oh yeah,
It's
when
the
he
cop
gets pulled
car
out
when
of
he
the cop,
gets hit
yeah,
by
when he
the
gets pulled out of the
ambulance.
cop car, and they have him there, he's up
They
there,
kind of
and
raise him up,
and
and he
everything.
kind of
And then next
with
thing
the-
you know, he's in the the mental
mental ward,
hospital.
yeah.
I feel like maybe like that everything was live, and then he just ended up there because eventually they got him
Yeah.
and put him away. I realized this guy's a maniac, and put him away. So that's just kind of how I took it. But either way, if you were to say it was a retelling of his story,
Yeah.
or if you're going step by step with him,
or he's just imagining.
yeah,
it
he's
the
imagining the whole
time.
thing. Either way, the movie's epic, and the fact that it makes you like you legitimately have
Well,
to think about all this
Yeah,
stuff.
and I think for better or worse, whether you loved it or hate it, it's one of those films, and this is why it's a great film, is that it leaves you thinking about it and it sticks with you for days after.
Right. I mean, it's
And-
been almost a week since I've seen the movie, and I'm still like, throughout the day, I'm like, well, what do you mean by this? Or, well, then there's this and this and that,
Yeah.
and it's just, it keeps you thinking. And,
Yeah,
and
no,
I
and,
loved
and,
it.
and the great ones do that because, it's sad to say, but we've been so inundated with a lot of comic book films, and this sort of transcends the genre,
yes.
and it's more of a think piece. Because I don't want to bash on like MCU films or even DC
Well,
films.
this is a whole different.
It's just a whole different
film.
animal.
Yeah.
Like those films are popcorn films. Like, yeah, they have some sort of like underlying story that or message that they want to get across, but for the most part, they're just bluff. But this, I think it was having to say something about mental illness, something
Right, and that's
about
yeah.
the people that are beaten down and marginalized by society, and then how you feel about that. I think
Right.
that's where the controversy lies. Is like, oh my God, am I empathizing and feeling sorry for a mass murderer? And I think that's where the conflict comes.
And that's what I was gonna bring up next is like how you felt about that, because just different things the way along the way, like how they made all the stories that I've read as far as Thomas Wayne, he was more of like he was a doctor and kind of more he put into like he was caring for Gotham, where this one, not that he didn't care about Gotham, but I felt like it was more of a like this is how stuff needs to get done, like more of a kind of like a jerk a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I would, not that I didn't like it, but it was just like it kind of took my thoughts on
Your thoughts of Thomas Wayne,
Yeah.
because I think that was the thing. I had the same thought, was because a lot of the Thomas Wayne that I'm familiar with, his that's where Bruce Wayne gets a lot of his moral
right.
compass from, is from his father, what he was taught
Mm-hmm.
and passed down, was like, that's what my father cared for the city, I need to care for the city,
Right.
and that sort of thing. But this one, it was kind of like calling the people clowns, and like just kind of like having a down looking down
look,
on,
he's up here looking down as opposed to
on
we're
the people.
equal.
And I think again that goes back to the look at who the narrator is.
Right.
He's looking at it from his point of view of like, these people don't care about us. And even in the scene with Robert De Niro, he's on on the show. He's like, people like Thomas Wayne and those people, they don't care about us.
Right.
He even makes that comment. It's so I think maybe being told from that perspective, sometimes, someone that maybe from that sort of class may feel like, oh, this is how, rich people look at us or view us. I don't know.
And I can see why, like, because this film, I mean, whether you want to or not, it's I guess, not the word, I'm not going to use, like, political, but this film is very, like, it punches you in the face with reality, pretty much, I feel like, as far as dealing with, like, mental health issues and, like, status of different tiers of, like, the way people live and the haves and the have-nots. And I understand, after watching it, I understand why some people had an issue with it, because it is almost like taking a mirror and putting your, like, the negative things about you and kind of twisting them.
And I think I think that's kind of what I was getting at a little bit with what Todd Phillips was aiming to do. He was just trying to make an honest film. Like, this is what I have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking a full stance on it's right or it's wrong. It's just for you
as
a viewer to decide.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it, because it wasn't like oh, like, I mean, I don't want to bash the movie, but like maybe Avatar, where there's like, you can tell, like, this is their agenda they're pushing and this is what it is. Yes. But Joker, it's like you said, he's not taking a side. He's like, this is what I see. You decide what you see from this. And it's just, this movie, I feel like, is not like your everyday standard movie. This movie is going to be one of those movies that
it's going to be a film that people are still going to be talking about. It's for better or worse. Like I said, it just sticks with you. I mean, you have I think Will Smith, a bona fide movie star, Gemini Man, coming out a week after that film, will probably debut maybe number 2 behind this film in its second run, in its second week, because it's a film that is being talked about, and people are going to go see it and go see it again.
Yeah, and it's not a mindless, popcorn, throw popcorn in your face. This is a movie where you are thinking throughout the movie. You're thinking after the movie, obviously.
You're watching this person step by step become an iconic comic book character. And again, like I said, that was one of the things that I love most about this film, is because it isn't him just overnight, I'm Joker.
Right.
It's slowly.
You watch the progression.
And then finally he becomes the Joker.
It's like you said earlier. This really isn't a Joker movie until right around the time where he murders his mother. This movie is just like a person who you're following down. Like, I mean, whether you want to say, he obviously has some kind of issue with, the relationship.
Well, and it deals with abuse. I mean, when they talk about what his mom's boyfriend did to him as an adopted child, and it deals with that and how that can affect a person. It's a very dark film, because it deals with dark subject matter.
Yeah, you do. So, like, in that sense, like, I felt for him. Like, maybe this person at the end doesn't become this if somewhere in between here someone intercedes or steps in, and then you see, like, when they take away funding for his psychiatrist, and just you're saying
the
that
programs are, again, it talks about like the social programs that we have, and how that social system is kind of broken and run down, and so those sort of things, it wants to kind of just pepper in every one of these little topics, it's while we're watching this guy kind of go through
seriously. It's like, it's a reflection on society, and it's a reflection on what, like, even me, I looked at myself, I'm like, well, what can I do to be a better person?
Well, yeah, exactly, because I think that for me is the most important. I mean, if there is a message, I think that's the most important one, is saying, look, there are people out there that, what you do can affect them and cause them. And there's a line, I believe he says it in the film. He's like, I had a really bad day. And that's kind of a callback to The Killing Joke, where, where someone has a bad day, that's all it takes for them to kind of lose it. And so I think you take inventory of your own self, like, I need to be a better person, because...
well, just like, and it's like that scene where he murders his coworker, and then there's the
The
little
small
person, the
person,
small person, the little person, who he like. There's a little bit of comedy in there, I guess, but he lets him go because he was like,
He's like, you've always been nice
you've always
to
been
me.
nice to me. So it's like you don't know what like how you treat other people. Like I said, this just makes you look at yourself, and you're like, I need to treat other people better. I need to be nicer because you never know if someone I run into is having a bad day, and maybe my niceness or my meanness could push them over the edge one way or the other. But I mean, this movie's just it's an epic movie. It's an epic movie. And I guess one of the final things I want to say is just I liked all the. I didn't catch them all. I don't know. I can't remember everything, but there's just little things like as far as when you were saying like the Killing Joke and just different Batman things that I know from with the Joker, like him grabbing after he kills, it's Murray, right? Who's
the talk show?
Yeah,
Murray. Yeah.
After he kills him, and like when he's talking into the camera, like I vividly remember that like in a Batman cartoon where he's grabbing the camera and like talking into it, and I'm like, that's just like it. I was like, stuff like that's like epic stuff to me. That's like
the Joker.
That's not just that's just not like movie stuff. That's like you're taking it other level kind of things.
Stuff, that they kind of pepper in there.
I loved it,
like
man.
The little callbacks to like a Taxi Driver, like King of Comedy, even a little bit of Network, Clockwork Orange, with the idea of someone who is a villain then becoming a victim and trying to be conformed to society, the way that film plays out. That those films that kind of like you could see the little like subtleties that are kind of being referenced in this film, but
it's like I can't even like really put into words how awesome this movie is and just how great. Like everyone should go see this. I know not everyone. Don't take your little kids to see this movie because this is not a
and that's
Marvel
that
family movie,
but also know what you're getting into. This is a character piece. We're watching Joaquin deliver a great performance, but we're really watching the development of this character.
Of a villain, like the greatest, arguably the greatest, most demented villain of all time.
Yes.
You're watching his story.
But what I was getting at is that you don't go in expecting to see Batman rescue and save the day and see some sort of outlandish plot where the Joker is going to do something and then Batman's going to stop him or whatever. It is solely a Joker film. You're not going to see Batman. You're only going to see him become the Joker. So know that before you get into watching it.
And also, just one thing too, one last thing. The ending that, like, for me, my mind was just like, that's insane. When he's talking to the psychiatrist, and he leaves the room, and you just see the bloody, like, he murdered her. But it was just like you end a movie that way. And
and you know what, and to kind of extend the conversation a little bit, seeing that, but then also having the song That's Life playing at the end, where it's almost a little bit.
The music in this movie, right?
The music is phenomenal.
Epic.
But that song though, it's I don't want to say it's like a happy song, but like it's a little bit more on the upbeat, and it's playing and it's like it's like I don't know if I should laugh or feel terrified at the same time, and again, that's the brilliance of this film.
It gives you all the feels at one time, and you just don't know how to feel, but and me personally, you're watching a great movie. Yeah. This isn't a movie. This is a film. So that's it. Pretty much it.
So why don't you guys, let us know how you felt about the film. Give us your thoughts and theories. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll try to keep in contact with you guys. So why don't you comment down below and let us know.
Yeah.
Also, you can follow us on Instagram at the On the Fence Movie Reviews. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, share.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.